Before I came to Sweet Briar, my experience with agriculture was not a lot. Most of it back home was ranching and cattle and not really produce and growing. We give a lot of produce to our dining hall. So in the morning, if everything's not already harvested from the day before, I'll finish that and then I take it up to them. And then when I come back down, I usually start harvesting for the next day.
Being able to harvest from the greenhouse and then you'll be eating it for lunch that day or something is very cool and a rewarding kind of experience. I like to plant things like when they're putting the babies in the channels or putting seeds in the ground, preparing a new row for a different kind of crop. I prefer that process.
Our greenhouse is primarily staffed by our students. They grow the plants you see here from seed to harvest. Our main place that we take our produce is just a short distance up our hill to our campus dining hall. Students can sit in the dining hall and see the greenhouse where we're growing the delicious lettuce, basil, other vegetables that they're eating. We supply throughout the year over 30 different types of produce items to our campus dining hall.
That's really, really impressive. And I love that you're doing it here on campus with the students. So they're learning and being nourished from what they're learning from, and it keeps those gas miles really tight on where the food's coming from. So do you grow year round?
We do grow year round. That's the exciting thing about our greenhouse. Sweet Briar has a long agricultural history, and we've long had some outdoor growing and various other activities, but this greenhouse is really allowing us to provide food throughout the year for our students who are on campus during the school year, in addition to our students who stay on campus over the summer doing research and continuing their learning.
I love that you are bringing women into the future of agriculture and really changing how we see the traditional farmer. That's really impressive. Now, is it a horticulture program or is it biology students? What do you mainly do as far as the learning aspect of this goes?
That's a fantastic question. So there's a lot of different ways that students are involved in learning here in the greenhouse. So we have a new Leadership in Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems certificate program. Students can do that certificate on top of their other studies, really to show that they are learning about agriculture and food systems and that they are going to bring that perspective and understanding to whatever post-graduation career or studies they do.
That's beautiful. And this lettuce is beautiful. Can you tell me about the technology we're looking at here in growing?
So this is what's called a nutrient film technique, or NFT hydroponic system. Water is basically flowing down each one of these channels and delivering the nutrients the plants need to grow in the soil.
So as far as the technology goes, what controls it?
Yeah, so we have a centralized control system for our greenhouse, and sort of ground zero for our data collection are sensors that hang down in each bay. They're constantly monitoring the temperature, the light, and the humidity within the greenhouse, so we get a ton of data on that. We have settings in our automated control system. We can adjust those as we need to, but once we put in those settings for how much light, what we want our growing temperatures to be, then the sensors are taking in that data and adjusting things like the shades, opening and closing them, turning on our cooling system, turning fans on and off. In the cooler months, maybe turning on our heaters.
I'm a little jealous. My hoop house is not as technologically advanced with the shade cover. Can you show me what controls that?
For sure, yeah. Let's head over there.
Okay, sounds good. We're going into this other bay, and I see that you've got some indoor growing going on. Can you tell me a little bit about that too?
Yeah, so we have 4 bays of soil-based growing in our greenhouse, and we use these areas to produce a really diverse range of crops for our dining and our markets and CSA. One really fun part is that our students use bamboo to make trellises. Bamboo is a plant that grows readily on this campus. It grows a little too well. We have to cut it down to keep it from taking over. And this is a great way that we can reuse the bamboo, and it really works for our growing
really
system.
Great way to use a pest plant to give it another sustainable use.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Wow. So you're controlling all of this from a laptop.
Well, we have a few different control centers for our automated systems. We have a screen touchpad interface on the back wall of the greenhouse. We can actually control from our phones. We get notifications when things are a little out of whack on our phones. But most of us who work here in the greenhouse and with the system do the controlling from our laptop. Okay? So you can see a little bit about the kind of things we can see. We can always be monitoring our readings for our temperature, humidity, light levels, and then we can go in and make adjustments from home as well, or from wherever we are on or off campus.
That's really impressive. Now, I see you've got many different bays, and where we were just coming from is hydroponic, but this is in-ground growing.
Yes.
How does that differ in your software and what you're controlling?
So in terms of measuring the temperature, humidity, and light, it's exactly the same. In our hydroponic section, we also use this automated system to help control the pH and the nutrient levels of the water. And then, of course, our students are doing the extra level of manual monitoring as well, just to make extra sure that things are just right for our plants.
So the technology has really come a long way. Do you still have hands-on work that you need to do on a daily basis here?
Oh, for sure. Our students are very involved in keeping the greenhouse running on a day-to-day basis. They are using integrated pest management techniques to help make sure that the little critters aren't getting on our crops. And then up here in our soil-based section, they do spend quite a bit of time weeding because even inside, we still have to take care of those weeds.
Oh my goodness, I love that you're preparing these amazing young women for what's really going to be the future of agriculture in Virginia. How do you see this benefiting them in the future in their own lives when they go out and make their careers for themselves?
We love that we are specifically training our young women who are students here to really be leaders in that greenhouse, controlled environment, indoor agriculture industry, but also to be able to understand that industry. So if they're working in something adjacent, be it business, be it policy, that they are really understanding the both opportunities and challenges that come with the greenhouse and indoor agriculture business.
This has really been beautiful. Thank you so much for having me today.
Sustainability is a huge part of Sweet Briar as well. And in almost every single class I've taken, I don't know if it's just because I'm an environmental science major, but every single class has had a focus on sustainability and good practices to make sure that, you know, it's going to be better after we leave it.
When it comes to climate change and sustainability efforts, I think my generation is more concerned about the effects that we have on the planet and corporations have on the planet, and just being able to, you know, start being aware of that and then moving to start creating change.